time to level up with your host, Adam Brooks. Adam Brooks, let's go.
Welcome to episode 4 of the Level Up podcast with me, your host, Adam Brooks. I'm so glad to be back. It's March 2018, and this is the first official Level Up podcast of the year. If you listen to the last episode, which was titled The Mashup, you'll have heard I recorded that last year with some of my guys, and this is the first time I'm recording this year. So, it's good to be back. Now, I mentioned at the end of the last podcast that I'll be talking about how to find your purpose. So, it's important you have a pen and a notepad to write down your stuff, or maybe listen to this once or twice before you try and deal with some of the questions. So, this podcast is going to deal with the first few questions to do with purpose and finding your purpose and the kind of things that you'll need to know and think about to start that process off. So, I'm going to pace myself. I'm not going to rush it. It's going to be quite a short podcast today. And we're going to do this for a couple of weeks with different editions that deal with different parts of the process. So something that's really important to me is just to explain why I believe purpose is so important. I think when you know the purpose of your life, everything about what you do changes. Whether you believe you're the result of an accident or evolution, or you believe that you're a gift from God, there's no disputing the fact that you're unique and there's nobody else in the world like you. So it's important to know that if that's the case, if you're the only one like you in the world, there must be something that only you can do. And so there's a quote by Mark Twain says, the two most important days of your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. And so we're really focusing on the why. And I think once you have a why as well, it also determines and defines how you make choices in your life. If you know specifically where you're going, there's certain things you just won't do because it doesn't fit in line with your purpose. And so I really am passionate about teaching young people about finding their purpose, but also every single one of us, no matter what age you're at, if you're 20s, 30s, if you're 85, you can still find and live on purpose. A guy called Quintana Ragnacci says, figure out what your purpose is in life, what you really and truly want to do with your time and your life, and then be willing to sacrifice everything and then some to achieve it. If you are not willing to make the sacrifice, then keep searching. In other words, what he's saying is, like, when you find that thing that's your purpose, you'll do everything you can to make it happen. You'll do everything you can to live in line with that. So, yeah, hopefully you've got your pen and your notepad down. So, the first question is a really, really simple one. Question 1 in how to find your purpose is, what makes you smile? And I think more often than not, like, this is something you're doing when you are just in your easy flow. It's natural. It's almost something you do without thinking about it. So think about what you're doing when you're passionate, what makes you happy. Think about activities, events, and just even things you do in your spare time with people, projects, whatever it is. And even if right now you're thinking about these things, are you smiling right now thinking about it? These are the things that you need to look for in terms of understanding, like, what things make you smile, what makes you happy, what do you do that you just enjoy doing. There's certain things that I'm not expecting you to write down, but there's a lot of things I think if you were to think quite deeply about it, you'd know that, I always feel good when I'm talking to somebody, or when I am helping somebody do something, or when I am teaching somebody something, or whatever it is. You'll find it's quite simple, but there's a few things. Maybe make a list of 5 or 6 things. There's probably going to be way more than that, but for this exercise, write down a few things that you actually love doing and you enjoy doing, and that brings a smile to your face when you do it. And that is question 1 in helping you to find your purpose. Now, question 2 is, what do you love doing? So similar to question 1, it's thinking about the things that, like, even when you were a child, like things that you just loved doing, that you were really engaged in, that you didn't have to get told to get out of bed for, they didn't have to get reminded that, remember today you're going to here or you're going to there. Those things, and it can be happening now in your life, there's things that you just love. And I'll give you an example for myself. I remember going to do Saturday school with my dad in Birmingham, and we lived in Stafford at the time, but on a Saturday we'd come to Birmingham and go and do a community kind of education program. And I was only a kid myself, but I loved doing it and I loved to help. I wasn't the best educated. I was quite well educated, but I wasn't the best. But I found myself really drawn to helping other people to learn. And throughout the course of time, at different stages of my life, I was teaching in Sunday school, and then at 16 I was teaching and doing peer mentoring with the University of the First Age. And then by the time I got to work, after uni and stuff, I found myself again working in a capacity of either helping to educate or teach. And even now, that's what I do. So it's easy for me because I know that I get into my flow when I'm teaching. So I always have been drawn to roles of teaching or educating people. So that's easy. But think about for you over the experiences and things you've been a part of. Like, what have you done that's really mattered, where you've made a really, really big contribution and where it's felt so good and you just love doing it? So that's question 2. Question 3 is, what could you do all day? Now, there's a saying that goes like, time flies when you're having fun, and it's definitely true. When you're doing something that you love, it's easy to lose track of time. I do it all the time. You can be sitting down, like I do graphic design, and I'll sit down and I'll be doing some kind of brochure magazine or something, and it'll be the next day and I haven't eaten and I've brushed my teeth and I've bathed, but I haven't like moved really, and I haven't noticed because I enjoy doing it. So just think about some of the things that you do effortlessly that bring you joy and that you could do all day without realizing that the day is past, it's come and gone. And like whatever those things are most likely tied to your purpose or your gift. So things that you do when time doesn't matter. Think about that. Question 4 is, what makes you feel good about yourself? And I think this is a really important one. There's loads of different things where you've done and afterwards you felt amazing, whether it's helping somebody, whether it's doing somebody a favor, whether it's singing, whatever it is. There's things that you do where after you have a buzz, you feel alive, you feel electric. And yeah, take your minds out of the gutter. I want serious things here. So what have you done in the past that's made your heart sing, that gives you goosebumps on your neck and makes your hair stand on end? What gives you butterflies? These are the things we're thinking about. These are the things I want you to consider. What are you doing when you just can't stop smiling? Like you're doing this thing, it's like you're smiling while you're doing it. Think about those things. What makes you feel good about yourself? These things, again, are most likely linked to your purpose, and they're very, very likely to be linked to your giftings as well. So think about that. The final question for today is a really simple one. Who do you look up to? Now, if you already have someone that you look up to, like a role model or someone who you think is someone who you idolize, or not the right word maybe, but you kind of think, I would like to be like them. Who is it and why do you look up to them? You may find it's because it's just admiration for them. You may find that it's just because you see things in them that you want to do or have in yourself. But what are the reasons? What are the things? Is it character traits? Is it actions? Is it the way they make you feel? Is it the way they talk to you? Normally, your purpose will kind of draw you to people where you look up to them and you think, yeah, I'd like to be like them. And you're not even always sure what it is, but you can kind of pick out, based on the things that you're admiring them, what it is that you want to find in yourself. So just think about somebody who you have in your life right now who is in a position to influence you, who's someone who you listen to, somebody who you go to for advice, somebody who you think, what would Thingy do in this situation? Find someone like that and then look at the character traits that they've shown that make you look up to them, or look at the actions they've done or the things they've done or the work that they do that makes you look up to them. So yeah, that's question 5. Who do you look up to? Now I'm going to stop there because I think I'm going to spread it over about 3 different podcasts. So today we've covered 5 questions. We've covered what makes you smile, what do you love doing, what could you do all day, what makes you feel good about yourself, and who do you look up to? So answer those questions, go back over them a few times, make a note in your books, or if you've got like an iPad, make some notes on there, and just make a short list. Don't take loads of time on it. Just make a short list on each one of different answers and different potential answers, and then review it and think about it and just kind of think, who have I missed and what have I missed off this list, and then leave it alone and maybe look at it again a few days later. But what we're going to do is, over the next 3 episodes, we're going to look at all these questions again in detail. There's another set to come next time, and then a final set in the last podcast. So don't worry right now. It may not all tie together in your head, but once you get all 3, we're going to find out how you can start to look at what your purpose is, and then move on to the most important thing, is defining your mission and what you're going to do now you know who you are and what you're here to do. So that's it really. I just want to encourage you. I know it's been a bit of a really long time, not a bit, it's been a really long time since I've been back, but I am back permanently, and I will be doing these podcasts very, very frequently. So look out for them, share them with a friend, and let somebody know who you think needs to know about purpose, that they can come here and find out, or at least start to find out what their purpose is. Also want to encourage you, I did a session with some kids the other day, and one of the key points I talked about was being selfish. Now this has nothing to do with purpose, but I was talking about just simply allowing yourself to prioritize you. I know a lot of us are trained kind of to always put other people first and consider everyone's feelings, which is fine. I'm not saying don't be sympathetic or empathetic or compassionate. My point simply is, we go through our lives, and this one life we have, We spend so much time trying to please other people, trying to make other people feel good about themselves, trying to appease other people, and we spend so little actually doing what we want. And I think if any lesson's been taught to me recently, it's been this one, that life is short and you have no guarantees about what's happening next. You have the heartbeat that you have beating in your chest right now is not guaranteed to continue. The breath you're breathing into your lungs, it's just happening, but it may stop at any point. There's nothing that's guaranteed. So what I really want to encourage you to do is define the kind of life that you want to have, and then create a level of expectation for yourself that you're going to go after it and pursue it and get it, and then work as hard as you can to make it happen. And in the process of doing that as well, feel very free to help others and be there for others and be a great friend, but be your own best friend first. So don't do anything that takes you outside of what you want to do with your life. Don't allow anyone to make you compromise on your standards, and just be the greatest, best, most amazing version of yourself you can, and that will make you happy. That will make you feel fulfilled. Don't ever allow anybody to question who you are if you know who you are and you're pursuing that. People are always going to be selfish and want you to put them first. That's how it goes. But you have to understand that you have to first be happy and first be fulfilled and put yourself first before you can do anything for anybody else. You can't make anybody else happy, and even if you are temporarily making them feel happy by doing what they want, it's only fleeting, and you're consistently being in a process of compromising on who you are to, again, make other people happy. So that's the word for today. I just want to leave something with you. So today we've talked about purpose, we've talked about how to find it, we've done the first 5 questions out of the 15 we're going to do. Go away, make your notes, think about it, even ask your friends and family, kind of what kind of things have you identified, have you seen in me that is pointing towards purpose or pointing towards maybe what I should be doing with myself. Ask the question and see if there's a common thread. Until next time though, guys, make sure you remember this. There's always something you can do to level up. Every single day, do something that makes you a bit better. Something small. If it means cutting down your calorie intake by 10 calories or doing 10 more steps than yesterday, by the end of the year, you'll find you've leveled up a lot in your walking, in your fitness, in your health, because of just making small incremental changes. So remember that. Don't try and do massive things. Just do small things consistently and well, and you'll see the difference. Peace out, guys. Love you loads. I'll talk to you soon.
Time to level up with your host, Adam Brooks. Adam Brooks. Let's go.